What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Rebirth Island Season 3 update, new surprise changes in Warzone, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new content going up over on dkdynamite.com for those that want additional coverage of multiplayer, Warzone, and zombies. Plus, we got plenty of tweets every single hour on Detonated's Twitter. Now, I want to thank everybody out there for their support on today's episode of the Bombshell Podcast. We went ahead and reviewed all the Season 2 Reloaded content, talked about some surprise rewards, and some other juicy intel, so I'll have that episode linked down below. You guys can always check out every episode of Bombshell in the public podcast playlist that you will find here on my channel. But we also got an update from Team Richochet. For those out there saying, DK, talk about the cheaters, talk about the hackers. I've talked about it quite a bit in the recent pod, and we talked about it live on stream a few days ago, but Team Richochet did go ahead and put out the following tweet for those out there that were interested. They are sharing our frustrations with the rise in cheating reports, and they remain focused on the fight. With the launch of Reloaded, they went ahead and deployed several aggressive upgrades, including fixes to combat flying vehicles with more on the way, new mitigation, boom, vehicles that shouldn't be airborne or too airborne may randomly explode, enhanced protections and increased response times for kernel level drivers on PC, speed optimizations for detections in ranked play, third-party hardware device detection upgrades, and over 26,000 bans on just March 6th alone. That's the launch of Season 2 Reloaded. For whatever reason, people are seeing more and more cheaters through ranked play, whether it's the version you pay for MW3 multiplayer or free ranked through Resurgence. It's ridiculous to see. I'm not sure if something's just in the air, in the water, in the food. Why people decide to cheat this much is honestly sad. 26,000 bans is ridiculous, but as a huge reminder, like Fajardi said earlier, Call of Duty is one of the biggest franchises in the world, so if any game's gonna see a rise in cheaters, it's gonna be COD. But like I always reiterate, Ricochet is a working anti-cheat. Did it get marketed a bit too much as like a bulletproof shield, a bit too glorified? Yeah, but as with any anti-cheat, it needs time to adapt to all the new BS and all the new hacks that exist, hence why sometimes it's caught up to speed, a lot of people are banned, then there'll be a random wave of cheaters that come in every now and again when there's discounts on cheats out there or when there's new cheats available. It's a never-ending battle for Team Ricochet, as you guys are aware. But also some exciting QOL updates for Warzone. That's quality of life changes that just got introduced with Season 2 Reloaded. First off, prox chat in ranked play has been disabled. They've also gone ahead and updated the pre-match lobby loadouts, so players can now instantly swap loadouts in the pre-match lobby rather than having to respawn with the new selection. They've also improved looting, so there's been significant improvements made to how the top and bottom shelves work with auto looting. Players can now expect a more consistent and predictable auto pickup range for loot that is both above and below the player's current height or level. They've also gone ahead and updated the backpack auto refill system, so field upgrades, streaks, tacticals, and lethal equipment will now auto equip if identical items are found in the backpack. If not, the next closest non-identical item will then auto equip, and they've also had to enhance the redeploy pack flares. A flare will now appear when players respawn via a redeploy pack, and they've also updated vehicles on the minimap. They've increased the distance at which enemy vehicles will appear on the minimap by about 10 meters. So really happy to see how many quality of life changes got introduced here with Season 2 Reloaded. We'll talk more about the multiplayer side of things in a video I have planned for tomorrow morning, where I'll discuss more of the hidden changes that you guys might not know about. But what's also really cool is that for the weekly challenges now, Fortune's Keep has been incorporated as the map that you can play on to do some of your challenges. So before, even when Fortunes did release, you still had to play Urzikstan to do your Warzone weeklies. If you wanted to do them, you didn't have to, but now Fortune's Keep is on there. So I'd expect Rebirth and eventually Verdansk to also be incorporated with this weekly challenge system. I mean, with the way that weeklies work, you don't always have to do a lot of the Warzone ones, but if you do, you can now do a lot of the newer ones on Fortune's Keep. Now, before we continue, I just wanted to remind you about MitchCactus.com, where you can get assistance grinding camos, nukes, or schematics in MW3. These guys do not use unlock tools or any bannable methods and will actually help you play the game. Mitch Cactus is also supported by Trustpilot with over 10,000 verified reviews. You can use code Dynamite for a limited time to save 5% off your order. But we then got some breaking news with the launch of Reloaded, and that is the fact that the hackers out there that usually go through all the new Call of Duty updates did find exact references to the fact that Rebirth Island is coming with Season 3. I've talked about Rebirth a little bit in many previous videos, but here's what they ended up finding. The official loading screen for the new iteration of Rebirth, as well as a Resurgence icon that'll be exclusive for this new iteration of our beloved map. So Rebirth should be releasing on April 3rd with the start of Season 3. I'll be making a ton of Season 3 news roundups as we do learn more information. I'll be posting those in the next couple of weeks, but in the image that we can see, it looks like we're getting the Rebirth Reinforced map, which did drop during Vanguard's life cycle. I'll actually put footage of the trailer that dropped for that version of the map map later in this video, since I actually forgot the trailer existed. But when it comes to the map itself, it's just about the same iteration of the map that we had during the Black Ops Cold War life cycle, but there were some really cool POI updates they introduced during Vanguard cycle, such as a big ship. They enhanced some of the areas around the map, and in this loading screen leak, we can actually see some smoke emitting from the center of the prison. So it's unclear exactly how many changes we are going to see. It's not going to be anything too drastic like kind of what Fortune's Keep got with some newer POIs or, you know, some destroyed old ones. I do think it'll just be Rebirth reinforced as we knew it from Vanguard, with some touches in between. We'll just have to wait and see, but crossing my fingers for a ton of Easter eggs to be available day one with the map's release. Now, I have talked about this a bit, especially over on Detonated. It may be a bit too soon to release Rebirth, not because Modern Warfare 2's schedule last year was Season 2 and 4 dropping Warzone maps. We had Ashika in Season 2, Vando Season 4. Not even because of that, but more so because we're not going to get another new Warzone map until, I want to say, December with the Black Ops Gulf War integration for Warzone. Reportedly, the map we get for that update is going to be Verdansk, so it'll be from the beginning of April all the way until December without a new map, which I'm fine with, but I'm a little worried about the rest of the community who's probably going to be complaining every season when we don't get a new map again, considering we just got 2 new ones back to back, which I'm honestly shocked about. It may create a bit of controversy that I personally won't care about, but some folks out there are probably going to think that Warzone updates might be a bit lackluster for the rest of the year if we just end up getting quality of life changes, LTMs, and maybe some small POI updates. But either way, Rebirth coming out a little bit earlier than I anticipated is fine. I'm happy to see it. Can't wait to see the new version of it. And again, it's probably going to be similar to what we saw during Vanguard cycle. Now, as far as gameplay goes, what's really interesting is that the leaker Alex over on Twitter did go ahead and say that he's apparently going to start posting clips of Rebirth relatively soon. You can kind of get your first gameplay preview of this new Rebirth iteration from the Rebirth reinforced trailer that came out during Vanguard cycle, but for gameplay of this new and updated version with the MW3 movement and possibly even new areas, definitely look out for whatever he's going to be tweeting out. And it's a little unclear if any of that will end up being strike down. So far, we haven't really seen any DMCA claims for a bunch of MW3 or new Warzone leaks, but things may get struck down off Twitter. If that's the case, I won't be able to cover it as I normally would, but I'm going to be safe with whatever does end up leaking out. I'll let you guys know if we got the green light to cover it. If not, you got to be really careful with what I discuss and show on screen, as you guys are probably aware of. Now, I think a good season and a half ago, the leakers out there did find references to some newer things for Rebirth. First off, the ability to swim. It's honestly a massive update that we didn't really think about since last time we saw Rebirth. We hadn't even seen swimming in Warzone yet. That didn't get introduced until Urzikstan, which was the beginning of MW2's integration. So it's going to be cool to see that alone. It's already nice on Fortune's Keep, but let's see how that changes up the pacing a bit for some Rebirth matches. Weapon trade stations are apparently returning, which I think were pretty fun to use over in Warzone 1. Being able to trade in a high rarity item for some other valuable loot, I think that was definitely useful. Or if you find something maybe invaluable around the environment, you might be able to trade it in for a weapon that's actually viable compared to some of the ground loot you may encounter that might not be fun to use. Now, they've apparently found references to new perks coming with Season 3. I guess they'll be introduced either exclusively on Rebirth or just in the entire Warzone loot pool at the beginning of our 3rd season. But for those wondering what's going on with the Specialist perk package, ironically, Raven did tweet out an image a good, I think, month and a half ago depicting a Specialist perk package that's on top of the tower that could be found on Rebirth. Little did we know, both of those features would be coming in Season 3, and apparently, according to leakers, the Specialist perk package has been pushed back to the mid-Season 3 update. Again, it's totally unconfirmed and unknown, but I think that would make sense if Rebirth comes out as an experience. You get some new perks, you get some other cool quality of life changes. Then with Reloaded, they end up introducing a Specialist perk package, which might be for all maps, not just Rebirth. We'll have to wait and see how they're going to split up those releases, but I'm also excited since some of the usual data miners have suggested that new Easter eggs are going to be put on Rebirth. It's unclear if it'll be on the same scale as Fortune's Keep, where we have 6 quests day 1, 1 more added with Reloaded, or if they'll end up doing something a bit different where it's more in line with a live event that might be tied to Black Ops, right? Let's see how they're going to end up handling that, but it's no coincidence that it's currently rumored Black Ops 2024 is coming out earlier than expected, which is supposedly October. That would mean they might pull a Black Ops 4 where they announce the title or they announce the reveal date in like March, April-ish, and hey, Rebirth's coming out in April, then they end up doing the full reveal event inside of Warzone or through a trailer or in-person event at some point in June or maybe even late May. We're just going to have to be patient with how they're going to market that game, but I do think if there's going to be Easter eggs tied around Perseus and Stitch, according to these leakers, that's probably tied to whatever reveal event we are going to end up getting for the next Black Ops game, and I couldn't be more excited about that. The last thing I'll mention is that there's been some controversy that I did discuss in a recent video in regards to playlist rotations. For whatever reason, even with the launch week of Reloaded and a new POI on Fortune's Keep, they're only allowing us to play solo Resurgence on our our new Season 2 Warzone map, and I'm really curious how Rebirth will end up affecting the rotations. Will we still end up getting just one squad size per map every week? I wonder how they're going to do that, because we're going to have Urzikstan POIs, Ashika, Vandal, Fortunes, and then Rebirth. Are we going to see all those maps in rotations every 15 minutes for certain squad sizes, or will they end up vaulting a map like Ashika? It's going to get to a point where we're all just going to really want every squad size available for every map. I understand rotations here and there because of player retention, data, and metrics they have behind the scenes that suggest higher engagement when you don't have all squad sizes for all maps, but when you have so many maps available in the rotation, it's going to get frustrating for people out there. They want to play a certain squad size, especially for a new map, and then they just can't because they have to wait 15 minutes, or maybe it's not even available for that week. That's going to get crazy, especially when a beloved map like Rebirth gets added in. People are always going to want every squad size for this map, and even when you add it for Dance back later on, same deal. So I'm curious how they're going to handle that controversy as soon as Season 3, but that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on our brand new Rebirth Season 3 update? How are you feeling about the surprise changes that they announced in the patch notes, plus everything we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.